Baby, on the beat. We got it covered. Everything sports related. I'ma speak my mind. You can love it or hate it. We got it covered. Everything Lamar. Welcome to Roll Call. You know who we are. We got it covered. We got it covered.
What is going on?
What is going on indeed? Let me hit start real quick. How are you doing? I did already.
I'm well in yourself, Brad.
I am very well. Thank you.
I am outstanding. Listen, I had a very productive day. I got some things accomplished on videos that I'm making. I've done little things. I was feeling really good. So
well done.
What I did was I said, you know what? I am going to treat myself. So I'm going to drive out to Owens Mills, go to Mod Pizza, get a pizza, and get a pizza, and I'll get that in a second. And I'm going to also go to Centerholics because they just built a Centerholics out there. Ordered my pizza, ordered my Cinnabon, sat here and talked to you for a minute, and then I went out there because, even though it says it's going to be done at a certain time, it's never done on time. So I gave him some time because, very patient.
That's the hallmark of great food.
It is. Get out there 10 minutes after it was supposed to be done, and the dude looking at me like, why are you here? I'm like, because I ordered a pizza. He's like, did you order it online? I'm like, I wouldn't be here if I hadn't.
Like, bro, we don't even check those orders. What you want?
So he looks around. He's like, oh, it's about to go into the oven. I'm like, cool. Walk over to Centerholics, get my Cinnabon, come back, and I'm sitting there just on my phone, and he looks at my face, and he's like, bro, I'm so sorry. Like, it's only two of us working. I'm in old man mode. Like, I'm about to hop on Yelp and let you guys know I'm not happy at all. But, Brady, when I got home, I think that had to be the best pizza I ever had for Maud in my life.
Really?
It was.
I never had my pizza. I'm going to have to try them out.
Yes, that is one of the few places that I can get a vegan pizza that actually has that has the cheese and has the Italian sausage.
Blaze got that. Well, it's not Italian sausage, but it's a vegan chorizo. Blaze Pizza has that. LeBron's place.
I don't know what it is.
They got wow, that's incredible. Because there's one out here in the middle of nowhere, West Virginia, but you don't have one over there. Makes me feel good. Thank you, and thank you for that. I do want to let you know the time is ticking.
Don't know what you mean, but anyway,
I think you do.
Sorry about that story. Welcome back to the RouG Pod. It's your man Hendo here, and we are live on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And also for my audio listeners, welcome back. Appreciate you all. Got my man Brodney here with me tonight to talk a little bit of Ravens football. We are going to dive into last night's preseason finale, Baltimore Ravens losing to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We're not going to go that long on this subject, Brodney, because of the fact that nobody really played of any name or notoriety. So we're just going to kind of go through that a little bit, answer a few questions, and get into this 53-man roster. I'm going to give you my projected 53-man roster. Now, things are liable to change because cutdown day is Tuesday. They are already releasing players right now, but the final cutdown would just be to get the players onto the roster so they can make moves, like putting Tyus Bowser on the NFI list, probably putting Pepe Williams on never will report list. I don't know. So I'm just going to give you the initial 53-man roster, and I guarantee you it will be accurate up to 90%. I'm not guaranteed 100. Guarantee you 90%.
Up to 90%. You mean like the 90% of every team that we all know is going to be there?
Listen, first and foremost,
it's only ever those last 8 players.
It is. But this year is a little bit different. This year is a little bit different to me because in years past, we had a distinct succession of players that we were going to keep. There were a couple of fringe players, a couple of guys that were not going to make the roster, and we had to kind of fiddle around and tinker with the lineup. Now we have such a dearth of talent. And for those of you that don't know what dearth means, look it up. We have such a dearth of talent we can go in many directions. Like this guy sucks, that guy sucks. He's okay. He's not really good. So it doesn't really matter what direction we go. So it's a lot of moving parts to it for me.
Yeah, you can keep 5 running backs. Like you have the talent to keep 5 running backs, but like, why would you? You know, you can keep 5 tight ends, but again, for what? So yeah, you never know. I mean, there you have like what 6, maybe 7 offensive linemen worth keeping, and you're going to keep like 10 of them. So
I didn't keep 10 of them.
Okay.
I'm sorry, everyone. Let's jump into the show. Let's see who we got in here with us tonight. Listen, there's already 35 people in here. I feel so blessed and honored. We got Joey P in here. What's going on,
Joey?
Thank you for dropping by. We got my man Brandon Bizell in the house. Always here to annoy me. We got Julian. What's going on? We got Terrell. He said, first time catching Hendo live. I need to tighten up. No, sir. Listen, even if you catch me on a replay, it is greatly appreciated. Just as long as you catch me.
Nah, you right, T.
He right?
He right.
Okay. Says, I'm the man. I am not, sir. I am a man trying to provide content, trying to get us out of here because there is football on tonight for those of you that don't know. The Saints are playing. Yes, the last game.
Not really then.
I mean, and then my thing is,
why would I was all excited thinking that there was like a real game tonight.
No, the Saints are playing somebody. I think Houston.
Oh, they're playing Houston.
Yes.
They're playing right now.
8:00 it started. Yes, that's why I'll be trying to get in. We're trying to get out.
In the hell you asked me to come here?
CI and Addict, what's going on? My baby girl, my oldest, the love of my life, Jasmine. How you feeling? She says, hey, y'all, we got Agent E in the house. Nothing much, about to get this done and watch this football. Coach Evans from Sip the Tally. Make sure you go over to Sip the Tally, check out the channel. He just did an awesome breakdown on the first drive of the Baltimore Ravens from yesterday's preseason game. And he introduced me to this concept called spacing. I have never heard of this concept as a Baltimore Ravens fan. I was blown away to see wide receivers in different sections of the field and not everybody clumped up running into each other. This is a new phenomenon that I hope carries forward from now. What happened? Like, why were these guys so wide open?
I don't know. Like, you've been introduced to it by the other 31 teams, right? I mean, you saw it every time Baltimore played against someone.
You are factually correct, sir. Yolanda B, what's going on? MVP Sports in the house. Jared Green, how you feeling? All right, let me before I move on, let me get to this tip. $35 tip from B Squared, Brandon Bizell. He says, Trey 5, we gets live. Yes, sir. Appreciate you. And if you want to be awesome, like Mr. Brandon Bizell, there is a pin link in the comment section that helps us grow the channel. We put everything back that we get into it. We do not do super chats over here because YouTube steals too much of our money. We're putting out the work. We're putting in the effort. We're doing everything. And then YouTube just comes in like the government and steals our money. I know. It's a horrible thing. What's going on, Mr. J? How you feeling? Ravenville 15, D3. Thank you. Like I said, it's football on, so we're not going to hold you too long. Let's get into this game. So last night, the Baltimore Ravens lose to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 26-20. Now the Ravens, after their 24 preseason game win streak, are now on a 2-game slide. Are the Ravens going to lose 24 straight? That would be fitting. How do you feel about this game, Rodney?
What did you see? Care at all, man. Like, it's a preseason game. What did I see? I saw a bunch of Ravens backups going out there. I saw that you don't have any depth on defense at all anywhere. That's what I've seen in their first 3 games because and it was a familiar refrain from Ravens fans where they were like, oh well, their starters are playing against our backups, right? And they were talking about that because Baker Mayfield went down the field and scored a touchdown. And then a little bit later, people were like, hey, oh, man, you got to remember it's their stars. I was like, no, it's not the stars anymore. Now it's Kyle Trask still carving y'all up. Your second and third string defense is just terrible at this point. It's not great.
It's not great at all. All right. We got a $20 tip from Julian. Appreciate you, Julian. He says the best nation is a donation.
Wow.
Hendo and Brodney. Now that the preseason is done, who are your offensive who are your offensive X factors going into the season for each of your teams? Defense too, if you can think of some. So for the Carolina,
I appreciate you, Julian. People don't normally ask about the Panthers on this show, and I want to say thank you. I don't appreciate you trying to make me do extra work on this show, but I do appreciate the thought. You go ahead, Hendo.
So offensive X factors for this team. Of course, for me, it has to be Lamar Jackson. His health is paramount to the team's success. Regardless of the health of OBJ, Rashad Bateman with Zay Flowers. I know the pizza's coming up. I'm sorry. Rashad Bateman, what Zay Flowers can do.
Good though.
No, but like it's
it don't really come back on you if it's
good.
It's
sitting on me, bro.
All right. I mean,
But yes, Lamar Jackson. So regardless of what these other offensive players do, Lamar Jackson showed you in 2019 he doesn't need much to carry a team. So his health is paramount. He is my X factor because I think that this season he's finally going to pass for that 4,000-yard bury. I think he's going to account for at least 45 touchdowns. He's going to lead the Ravens to multiple playoff wins and possibly a Super Bowl victory. So for me, he is my offensive X factor. And defensively, my X factor has to be the O&O Express. And that is going to be David Ojabo and Odafe Owe. And I'm not here to slander him, Brady. I'm not here to slander him. They are my X factors. We do not.
You didn't want to go like you could have had the B and O, and it would have been Bowser and Owe or Bowser and Ojabo. You didn't want to go there with it?
I did not because listen, Bowser's hurt. Bowser's going on either the PUP list or the NFI list, which means he's going to miss 4 to 6 games to start the season. So we have like 3 division games out of our first 5, if I'm not mistaken. We need a pass rush. So for us to put a bunch of stock into Owe and Ojabo, I think that they're going to be the X factors that are actually going to help lead this defense. Listen, we don't have the cornerbacks right now. Even when Marlon Humphrey comes back, we don't have the defense right now to stop teams. That's why for the past several years, Brodney and Jose #defund the defense. We need an offense that can score more points than the other team. So there are times, like we've said, you need situational defense. We need that timely sack. We need that timely fumble. We need something to go on like Owe did against the Kansas City Chiefs. I know we joke him and say, oh, he's terrible. They can't do this. But to me, this team does not move forward in the playoffs without these 2 gentlemen stepping up. And sadly, one of them is going to make the fallers list later on. So how do you feel about the Carolina Panthers?
God damn, man. I feel like I was doing the show with Ferris right there. Is it my turn already? It's been a while. I'm joking. For Baltimore, I'm not going to say Lamar because Lamar is the foundation of the team. The X factor for them, I think, is Zay Flowers because he represents something that Baltimore hasn't had, which is a home run hitter, an explosive playmaker on offense. I think he's going to make a major difference for the offense. On defense, I'm going to have to agree with you partially and say it's going to be Odafe Owe. Him getting back to his rookie year form and even progressing a little bit from there. But he was a playmaker in that rookie year. And if he can get away from what he did in that first offseason and get back to what he was doing as a rookie and make some plays for that defense, then it'll be a huge plus.
Okay. Oh, you want to know why I stopped and got silent? No. I mean, I had something to say, but I was waiting.
I'm sorry.
Because he did ask you about your team. So
I thought we were taking turns, and then you were going to go ahead and do Carolina next.
Oh, I'm sorry. My X factors for the Carolina Panthers. I thought you was just going to continue on. My apologies, sir. So my X factors for the Carolina Panthers, of course, is going to have to be Bryce Young. Listen, even in one of the weakest divisions in the NFL, the Carolina Panthers have remained competitive, staying in the playoff hunt. They were only a quarterback away. Now, Bryce Young is a highly talented quarterback from Alabama. If he can do the things that he did in college in the NFL, I think it'll circumvent all of the bad decisions that the Panthers have made with their roster of the past several years, letting go Christian McCaffrey, letting go DJ Moore.
We didn't list all of Baltimore's bad decisions. Why are we doing this right now with Carolina?
You had your opportunity, sir.
Okay.
But I do think that Bryce Young is that guy. Like, I do think he was worthy of the number 1 pick, and I think he's going to take that team to a level that it hasn't seen since the likes of Cam Newton. Defensively, of course, I mean, Jeremy Chin, he was hurt last year, so he didn't live up to his rookie expectations. But it's got to be Brian Burns. The Carolina Panthers kept that man on the roster, gave him 2 first-round picks that they could have traded him for. He's got to be that guy. He's teaching young guys how to pass rush. He is your defensive star. He went to Florida State. How could he not be?
All right. So anyway, Bryce Young, I think, has shown through the preseason that he is that guy, right? And he's a good decision maker. He can make all the throws. He knows when to put touch on the ball. He knows when to rifle it in and all this. But he's not going to be the X factor for me. Unfortunately, it has to be Ekwonu, the left tackle, who looks like he has forgotten how to block people, which is going to be. I'll say it's going to be detrimental. I'll go out on a limb and say it's going to be detrimental to the team if that continues into the regular season. So I'm going to pick him on offense. Defensively, I think I got to agree with you with Brian Burns. He did step up last season, and he is one of the better young pass rushers in the league. But they need him to take it up even another level. They don't have a proven pass rusher on the other end. Frankie Louvu is a pass rush specialist, and he's done a good job in that role for us. Mm-hmm. They did sign Justin Houston. We'll see how much he has left at this point in the tank. But they don't have another, consistent pass rusher over there. And I think they need him to take that extra step towards even, defensive player of the year type category to really help out that defense. Because the back end of the defense, I think, is going to suffer as well.
Even with J.C. Horn?
Yeah. Dang. Well, let me put it this way. Let me put it to you this way. You all have all-pro Marlowe, right? You have Marcus Williams, who is an all-pro caliber safety. Yes. True. You drafted a safety at number 14 overall. And you all are deathly afraid of your secondary.
This is true.
And Carolina doesn't have a corner as good as Marlon Humphrey, doesn't have a safety as good as Marcus Williams. They drafted Jeremy Chin in the 2nd round, and he hasn't played as well. And the rest of their corners suck too. So, yeah, it's going to be a struggle back there.
Well, let me ask you this question. So do you think with the play of the offensive line, because we've seen the struggles during the preseason, do you think that they should let him sit and have Andy Dalton start for the year? Or at least
no. Don't even finish that garbage.
And I'm not even being smart. No. Just for his safety. Until that offensive line gets it together.
I don't want to see Andy Dalton anywhere near a goddamn football field.
Well, they can't use PJ Walker anymore.
They could actually. He got cut.
I mean,
you know that.
You know that. But my thing is, I just don't want the young man to get hurt. I don't want another David Carr situation.
It's not going to be that bad. Their interior O-line is getting healthy. I think they'll be okay there. And it's just the real question mark is Ekwonu. And I think if out, but Bryce Young is very, very intelligent and he knows how to protect himself. He's shown in the preseason that he's to an extent, able to get away from those hits, right? I mean, sometimes Kayvon Thibodeau just runs right by your left tackle. There's nothing that you can do about it. But if you saw in the Detroit game, sometimes you roll out and you're one-on-one with James Houston and you make him look like a fool. Right. So I think he's going to be all right. They had to get Ekwonu figured out.
Yeah, because I thought he was didn't he have a pretty solid rookie season?
Yeah, I mean he had his ups and downs, obviously, as all rookies will, but it was very promising. And now it's like, what's you doing?
He got paid and just is like bumping.
It reminds me of another Panther legend, Coney Ealy, who was drafted in the 2nd round, and he had such an inspiring story, about taking care of, I believe it was his younger sister, and he that's what drove him to get to the NFL, to provide financial stability, and it went into that Super Bowl after the 2015 season, and he had, I believe it was 2 sacks or 2.5 sacks, a fumble recovery, an interception. He was the player of the game. He was easily, but they lost, and then we never saw that guy again. So, yeah.
All right, let's delve into this game. We have been here for 20 minutes. Man, time goes by when you're having fun. Like that song is real. Like
Time goes by when the clock is ticking too, man.
don't be that way, Brady. All right, so for the game yesterday, who were your offensive and defensive players of the game if you had one or did not?
I mean, I wouldn't say that I really had offensive players. I mean, obviously Owen Wright had probably the best game. But I'm going to be completely honest with you. I had not heard of Owen Wright prior to this game. But he went out there with 12 carries, 89 yards, and a touchdown. And then also 2 catches for 11 yards. So I would think that he would have to be the offensive player of the game, right? Defensively, I think, and this is something that I kind of wanted to get into at some point, but Caillou Blue Kelly has the ability to just shift blame. If not cover the receiver, he's able to avoid being blamed for missing coverage, which is one of the greatest abilities you can ask for. So I'll go with Caillou Blue Kelly.
For me, yes, Owen Wright had an outstanding game. I just think for me, the offensive player of the game is going to be Josh Johnson. You know, he did it for the old guys. He went out there. He started the game 4 for 4 on the first drive. Oh, we'll get there. We'll get to that, Coach. He started the game 4 for 4 on the first drive. He hit Charlie Kolar. He hit James Prochet. He hit Tylen Wallace. And he hit Laquan Treadwell for a 24-yard touchdown. Like, when I first saw that, and this was against the Tampa Bay starters, I was like, man, is this how it's going to look? Is this how this thing is going to be? But then it also made me think, does this put pressure on Lamar Jackson? Because, and I know you have professionals, you have superstars, but when you take backups and put them in games and they run an offense so efficiently, now that shifts more of the pressure towards your shoulders to get it right. Because, you know, everyone is looking outside of Baltimore and his fans, they're looking for Lamar to fail passing the ball. So do you think that with these backups or practice squad fodder doing well offensively, do you think that puts a little bit more pressure on Lamar?
No, I don't think so. I mean, look, we've seen Josh Johnson play for every team under the sun. We know who he is. We know exactly who Josh Johnson is, and we know that this is a mirage. You know, there's not a single person out there who thinks Josh Johnson is pushing Lamar Jackson. You know, you know that he can't play to that level. I mean, if he played the entire game, he wouldn't have played to that level, let alone doing it in a regular season game. So I don't think that it puts any pressure. I think that what's going to put pressure on Lamar is the fact that Baltimore did not play him at all with the rest of the starters. So he was not able to get out there and kind of get comfortable in the offense. He wasn't able to really get into a rhythm with his receivers. And I think that'll show up early in the season. But even that is going to be short-lived. So I expect a lot of fireworks from this offense and not a lot of blame.
Okay. Yeah. So, and for my defensive player of the game, at first I was going to put nobody because nobody that really played yesterday actually matters to me on this team. But I mean, it probably was. But, Brodney, you convinced me. Caillou Blue Kelly, the way he evades responsibility is amazing to me. Caillou Blue Kelly is a Hall of Famer already. If you don't know, inside the Discord, there's a gentleman that loves Caillou Blue Kelly and thinks that he's a great.
There he is over there. What's up, Reg?
I wasn't gonna say any names, but he said that this guy was just an outstanding young corner. He had good things ahead of him, and he got burnt for a touchdown. Listen, Chris Godwin abused him, and granted,
Chris Godwin will do that to good corners.
Granted, but he said no, that wasn't on him. That was on Geno Smith. So what did I do? I put up the video. I put the video up, and he still said,
"Only not Geno Smith."
That wasn't on him. It was on Geno Smith. He let him go.
Geno Stone.
I'm sorry, Geno Stone. I'm like, he let him go. No, he didn't. He just wasn't fast enough to keep up with him. Yeah. Truth be told, if he evades this cut down day, he may be the greatest defender ever. Just elusive. Yeah. But speaking of starters not playing, Do you think that this will be detrimental to the team? Every team in the NFL besides the Baltimore Ravens played their starters at some point. Even the New York Jets played Aaron Rodgers yesterday. It may have not been for a full half, but he got him in there and got him acclimated with the first team offense, something that we have yet to do. We have yet to see Odell Beckham out there. We've seen Zay Flowers in spurts. They didn't even really put Nelson Aguilar out there after the first game. So do you think that this is somehow going to hurt this team going forward, especially in the early parts of the season?
Are you talking about him holding down the practice squad, Reg? Is that what you're referring to? I think it's going to. I think they're going to look a little sloppy early, but they're playing Houston in week 1, so I don't think it's really going to matter. So I think there'll be a little bit of it, but I don't think, like I said, I think it'll be short lived, and I don't think it's going to prevent them from getting out to a good enough start. You know, they're playing Houston with a rookie quarterback, a rookie head coach. And if we're being honest, just not a whole lot of talent on the team. Just not a whole lot, right? So I don't think that it'll manifest in terms of a loss or anything like that. And I think maybe that's what they're thinking. Like, hey, we got Houston, and they're going to play for the full game, and we'll work it out there. No, disgusting.
Oh yeah, he is CB2 on the practice squad. You're correct.
Y'all gonna stop hating on Rocky Sin, man.
We don't even know if he's hurt.
He's back.
That's what they say.
He's back.
Just because you take someone off the injured list
doesn't mean practicing.
I can go jog up and down my driveway, and I can say I was practicing.
Do you?
I do.
Hit it. So
I'm just saying that can say I was practicing. Hey, somebody threw a ball and I caught it. I practiced. That doesn't mean. Listen, John Harbaugh is John Harbaugh is a pathological liar.
When the last time you seen Kyle Blue Kelly catch a ball that was thrown near him?
I have not. Has he ever made an interception? Ever?
I think he's got more cheap shots than passes defense at this point in his NFL career.
Facts. That is facts. He is a cheap shot artist. Shame. But yeah, I think that the starter's not playing. I think that it's going to be detrimental in the beginning of the season. But like you said, we played the Houston Texans, and I think that's what John Harbaugh factored in while not playing the starters. He was like, we'll use the Houston Texans game as a get-right game. Now, if we were to happen to lose that game, because, listen, going throughout the Ravens' history with John Harbaugh, we don't have a really good record versus rookie QBs. For some reason, they beat us. And to think that we're just going to walk in, play Houston, and come out with a W, you're crazy. This is the NFL. Any given Sunday. So even still, I don't think that game will be enough to get them prepared for Cleveland, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. They're all coming up within the first 6 weeks. So the defense isn't going to carry us. I don't know what John Harbaugh was thinking other than I'm scared. I don't want my team to get hurt. I'm reliving the past of what happened with all of these players. But listen, if they're going to get hurt, they're going to get hurt regardless if it's preseason, if it's training camp, if it's a regular season game. So I just think he should have just put them in.
Yeah. I mean, at least I'm not even saying they have to play a whole half or anything like that, but get them out there, get them playing a little bit. But it's like, and I forget the YouTuber, or not the YouTuber, but the guy's name on Twitter who puts out those videos breaking down films after games. The moment was too big for Johnny, pissed down his leg, and now you're going into the season with no preparation.
All right. They just expect us to go ahead and win. All right, moving right along, we are going to go to risers and fallers. So let me know if you have any players that you thought rose their stock from this game, and anybody that you thought dropped their stock after this game and is going to be on the chopping block, not named Caillou Blue Kelly, because we already know he's going to be there.
Wow, rude. Not really. Dante Demas had probably his best game. Kolar, and he played well again, but I don't think that there was anything that happened that's really going to have any effect on Tuesday. You know what I mean? I think it's a little too late in the game for that, and nobody had a really standout type of game.
Oh,
but see, Iron, he getting cut. He getting cut.
Listen, y'all stop talking about my mans. So for me, risers, I'm gonna go with Josh Johnson. I think that he put a little bit of pressure on the organization to make a decision, because they're actually having discussions from my sources, wink, wink, hint, hint, nod, nod, that that they are considering Josh Johnson as the backup quarterback. And it's Todd what is his name? Huntley. I don't remember his name. Pro Bowl Huntley is hurt.
Tyler Huntley.
Guy. So they're considering bringing in Josh Johnson as the number 2 quarterback because he's played so well during the preseason. You already know Anthony Brown Jr. is going to the practice squad. So for me, I think he raised his stock a little bit. If he doesn't make it with the Baltimore Ravens, he's going to make it with some team.
Oh man, I just checked. Kyle Blue Kelly's caught 3 passes in his career.
Nice.
And none since 2021.
Nice. All right. My other brother is Charlie Kolar. Even though we were down on him in the beginning, he had a fumble, he had some drops. He did have like 4 catches for 44 yards yesterday. He's making the best out of a situation, especially since Vokalek decided he was going to step up and try to make this roster as an undrafted rookie free agent. Charlie Kolar stepped his game up. I don't think he's going to make the roster, though, but it is what it is.
You don't think Kolar's going to make the roster? Kolar's making the roster. Your boy Vokalek out of here.
Oh, man.
And I appreciate him playing well in these preseason games to grab the attention of somebody like just spitballing like a Scott Fitterer down in Charlotte, and then when you all try to sneak him onto the practice squad, that he ends up down in Carolina.
Oh, that's fine. He's not going. You can have Kolar in Carolina.
No, I'm talking about Vokalek, but we would probably take Kolar over Hayden as well.
You can stop hating over man.
No, I'm not going to stop hating on the first round pick who lost his job midway through his rookie season and then was traded for a second round pick. And then that team immediately drafted a tight end in the top 5 and got rid of him. And then that team cut him as well.
He'd had a decent year with Cincinnati last year.
Yeah. And then they were like, no, thank you. No more.
Okay. Also, I have Delshon Phillips on my risers list. I think he's played his way onto the roster. Owen Wright, even though he played well last game and he's been steady throughout the preseason, I don't think he has enough in him to no, he's not a Pro Bowl. He has enough in him to make this roster. And Laquan Treadwell, he's another one that showed his value being a former first round pick. I just don't think that he makes the active 53-man roster. And as for my stock down, number 1 has got to be Jonathan Harbaugh. He's number 1. For not playing his starters on offense, knowing that this is a new offense, knowing that there are new pieces. He did not get them in to see what they had together. Also, my man Salah. Salah looked terrible, horrible yesterday. And he's looked kind of bad throughout the preseason. But that one time when that guy bull rushed him, and the thing that we said about Salah was he's big and he's strong. That guy damn near lifted him off his feet and pushed him back. Yeah,
he's a 6th round rookie. Y'all need to stop. I'm going to give you a little spoiler for next year. I'll give you a little quick little teaser for next year. Y'all can take that with you because we're about to get out of here. Voorhees is gonna suck too.
He is. First of all,
then y'all are gonna be on here crying about that. All right. Stop expecting the world from late day 3 picks.
We don't expect the world. We expect the world from undrafted free agents. Because I heard people yesterday crying about Shamar Bridges.
They were about to have a goddamn vigil.
Weren't they?
Boy.
Weren't they?
Like, where do you think he's going? You cut him last year too, and ain't nobody pick him up. He'll be right there waiting if you want him back, and you don't want him back. I mean, and this is the first time you can like legit just say this and kind of dismiss it. The Ravens have like 7 receivers better than him.
For the first time, we can say that. We can say that. But you know what? If you're a Ravens fan, we have sentimental favorites. Yeah. We have people that we root for no matter what. And he is one of those guys. And I had to ask somebody, like, what is it that you think?
I know he would not have been a day 2 pick.
He'd have been a day 3 pick. He still would have been a day 3 pick. The problem with Voorhees was he couldn't stay healthy in college. Like this wasn't the only time that he got hurt. He was decent. And these Pac-12 offensive linemen, we should get enough of Pac-12 offensive linemen to know that they really don't do well in the NFL their first 3 seasons.
Okay. Just going to go there with it. You're not going to have to worry about that anymore because there's no Pac-12 anymore. So you can take your slander and go home.
Okay, I'm sorry. Well, my last 2 fallers.
And I'll just say this as well, since you brought it up. David Ojabo was not going to be a top 15 pick without the injury either. Like, just please stop. Just please.
Well, I guess I'll just have to just skip over Caillou Blue Kelly and Jalen Armour Davis and go straight to David Ajabo. He is by far my biggest faller of the preseason. He has made no plays. He's been stonewalled at the line of scrimmage. He has not set the edge. He did not look like a high day 2 pick to me. Even a lot of his backers and the people holding up the pom-pom saying he was a top 15 pick and we want to take him at number 14. No, we weren't. And like Brodney said, we weren't taking him at 14. They just say that to people. People tell me all the time, I was going to pick you to play basketball, but you didn't. You didn't. You picked him. And then you picked me 4th. It doesn't make a difference. So I just don't think that he has the talent. I told everybody, and I was going to clip the video from last year when I said David Ajabo is going to come in here. He's going to play the last few games, flash something. You're going to get really excited. He's going to come in year 2 and not do diddly squat. And y'all were going to say, it's because he's still hurt. He's still nursing his injury. And in year 3, he was going to play decent. In year 4, he's going to price himself out here. So once again, we have the Baltimore Ravens picking a useless pick that did not help us do diddly poo. So yeah, that's how I feel about that, sir.
Yeah, there was a lot of feelings there. They all came out at once. I was something.
Facts. Ah, man. All right. So let's just speed this along, Brodney. Do you have any concerns heading into the season for the Baltimore Ravens and the Carolina Panthers?
I mean, they're really the same concerns for both of them.
Mm-hmm.
The O-line. In both places, left tackle in Carolina, left guard and right tackle in Baltimore. The edge rushers, because if David Ajabo was that guy, why did you sign Jadeveon Clowney?
Hold up. Say that again, Brodney.
I say if David Ajabo was that guy, why did you sign Jadeveon Clowney? And in Carolina, they obviously know that they don't have that second guy. That's why they went and got Justin Houston. And then, of course, the secondary. For Baltimore, I'm not as concerned with the secondary. I think they'll be fine once they're healthy with Marlon and Rocky Sin. Rocky Sin is a average to above average corner. He'll be fine.
I agree.
Marlon is a very good corner. So once they are healthy, they'll be fine. Carolina not in that same boat. J.C. Horn is a good player who hasn't been able to stay healthy. Dante Jackson's coming off on a torn Achilles. C.J. Henderson's not good. Keito's not good, etc., etc. So those are the concerns that I have going into the season.
Yes. All right. My concerns heading into the season. I only have one concern. Now that we have brought in some offensive weapons, now that we have an offensive coordinator that can actually scheme players open, is John Harbaugh going to fumble the bag? I still see some coaching deficiencies in the preseason with his timeout calling and his challenges. And I know it really doesn't mean anything right then, but sometimes we are a creature of habit. And no matter when it is or what's going on, you cannot help but be yourself. And I just don't think that he's the man for the job. Like, I still think that we need to get an offensive-minded coach in here to help out, or a defensive-minded coach, somebody that can actually help these coordinators take our game to the next level and help us progress in the playoffs. So for me, my only concern is going to be Jonathan Harbaugh and I guess maybe the health of the players, because Steve Saunders is gone. And I know a lot of you like to blame Steve Saunders for these injuries. We had injuries before he got here, and we're still having them when he's gone.
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to have injuries, but I mean,
we have an inordinate number of injuries. But what are you going to do? All right, let's move on to our last segment, and we are going to get into this 53-man roster prediction. Like I said, I am going to give you my predictions up to 90% accurate. Okay, everybody, 95% accuracy.
Wow.
My roster is going to be up to 95% accurate. I guarantee it.
Can't wait.
It's gonna be a couple surprises in here. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. But
I won't get mad. I don't care about the Ravens.
I'm talking about the people in the chat.
Okay, yeah, no, don't get mad.
I'm worried about you.
He ain't cutting people right now.
I mean, we cut a couple people, but
no reason to get mad.
I don't know. They watch the show. They watch our show apparently, and they listen to us sometimes. So hopefully they can go in and we can affect this. But let's start off with the quarterbacks. I believe that the Baltimore Ravens are keeping 2 quarterbacks on the roster, the first being Lamar Jackson, of course, and the backup being Tyler Huntley. Even though, like I said, Josh Johnson made a push to become the backup, I think that he just doesn't make the cut. And I think that being that Anthony Brown Jr. is a younger guy, I think they're going to keep him. What say you?
I agree. I think it's disrespectful that they don't have Tyler Huntley's Twitter up there, but I think they know that Josh Johnson. They know Josh Johnson will be there if they call, so there's no point in keeping him.
This is actually correct. All right, moving on to the running backs. I believe that they're going to keep 4 running backs, with J.K. Dobbins being the starter, Gus Edwards being the backup, Justice Hill being the third down back, and Keaton Mitchell just probably returning punts and doing other things. But I think that Owen Wright did do enough to get himself on the practice squad. How about you?
I think that those are going to be the 4, and Justice Hill is giving me some Screech vibes in that picture. I don't like that. But I think that those are going to be the 4. Melvin Gordon, we knew as soon as they signed him that it was a pointless signing, and there was no reason for him to be there. I'm hoping that you combined running back and fullback, and we're cutting Patrick. Okay, well, I'll carry on then.
All right. Daniel Fraction says, you don't think they keep 3 active with the new rule? With the new rule, I do not think that they keep 3 active. Under normal circumstances, I think the Ravens would carry 3 quarterbacks, but being that they need an extra guy in a defensive backfield and an extra guy on the offensive line, I think that kind of circumvents them keeping 3 quarterbacks, because like he said, with Josh Johnson always being available, you can make game day decisions and game day maneuvers. So I just think right now, until we get everybody placed where they need to be, I don't think that they're going to have 3 quarterbacks.
Well, yeah, maybe I'm misunderstanding the new rule because I haven't paid a ton of attention to it, but that would be the reason to not keep 3 quarterbacks, because you can just, you can add that other one whenever.
This is true. Facts. Facts.
Maybe I'm misunderstanding the rule though.
No, you can carry 3 quarterbacks on game day, but they have to be on the 53-man roster. So you can essentially carry
a free active,
right? Because on game day it's normally 48 people active. Now I think you can have 49 with the quarterback, and I think you also they added something.
46 and now 47, right?
I think it was 46 and now it's 48. Yeah, it's 40 something like it's either one, but I think they also added where you can add an extra offensive lineman, or they were trying to do that. I'm not sure, but I just know with the quarterback he has to be on the 53-man roster for you to be able to activate that third guy on game day. Now, just like Rodney wanted at fullback, this is one that I wrestled with for a long time. In my mind, I'm like, listen, if it were up to Todd Monken and the rest of the crew, they would cut hard Ricard. Like they would let this man go. But I think that being he is one of John Harbaugh's guys, I think that he only stays on the roster just for that reason.
Like, bro, is Tyler Huntley not on Twitter? Because you have Patrick Ricard's Twitter there with his history, and you didn't put. All right, anyway, it's neither here nor there. But I think this is ridiculous for Pat Ricard to be on the 53-man roster. We all know he's going to be. They can't quit him, but it's ridiculous for them to keep on paying him to do whatever it is that they want him to do.
This is facts. Next up, wide receiver. And I think this is going to be easy. This is a layup. I think the way that everything has been laid out throughout the preseason, we already know Odell Beckham Jr. and Rashad Bateman are going to be the starters with Zay Flowers. If they start 3 receivers, then you're going to have Nelson Aguilar and Devin Duvernay and Tylan Wallace bringing up the rear with Laquan Treadwell and Dante Demas on the practice squad. And a surprise, James Prochet will make the practice squad.
Well, no. I mean, did they remove the limit on the practice squad?
Yes, you can have 6. Out of the 16 players you can have on the practice squad, 6 players can have unlimited years in the NFL.
No, I get that, but there's still a limit. So James Prochet's out of here. I would imagine that Laquan is out of here as well. There is no point in putting James Prochet on a practice squad for goddamn what? Tell me one reason.
Because he is one of Harbaugh's guys. This is the thing that people this is a real thing. Harbaugh has his people that he will go to bat for no matter what.
Okay, if we're making the Harbaugh's guys argument, you better put Tylan Wallace on that practice squad and put James back on the 53. He ain't gonna. It's time to let him go. It's time to let him go.
He had 2 catches yesterday.
Oh, what?
Really? He had a catch for 22 yards. At one point in time, James Prochet averaged 22 yards a catch.
Let me ask you this: how many did he run for? How many of those 22 yards?
He ran for all 22 because he beat the DB. He ran for all 22 of them, Brian.
So since I know that you understand what I'm asking you, and that's the answer.
Oh, you mean
I'm gonna assume that he didn't run for a single goddamn one of those yards, and he just caught the ball and went down.
First of all, I think
let's keep it moving to the tight end. All right.
He ran for like an extra 4.
You mean he fell down with the ball?
But I mean, he beat the dude clean.
Oh,
like he beat the guy
clean.
The
he was wide open. Clean.
Moving on. Next up for tight ends, I believe that we are going to keep 3 tight ends. Of course, in some people's view, all world Mark Andrews. I call him Handrews. Isaiah Likely, and like I said, surprise, Travis Vokalek. He is going to be the 3rd tight end with Charlie Kolar going to the practice squad, and then hopefully the Carolina Panthers will scoop him up. It'll be another draft bust for EDC that moves on to another team within the first 3 years of him being on the roster.
I'm going to agree with Mark Andrews. He is going to make it.
Right.
Isaiah Likely, I think, will make it as well.
Right.
And then it's going to be Charlie. They don't really like admitting draft mistakes. And I'm not even saying that he's a mistake. I think he's played pretty. He's been decent this preseason. Vokalek's going to go to practice squad. If Charlie Kolar hits the practice squad, Charlie Kolar will never play for the Ravens again.
Oh, I'm sorry. You had expectation of him playing for the Ravens? I never did. When they drafted,
you did when they drafted him in the 4th round. So
I did not.
They're going to protect that investment.
They drafted the 27th tight end who came into the league with a sports hernia off the bat.
Okay, talk to me about the tight end they drafted in the 1st round a few years ago, and then tell me which one's better. Okay, yeah. So that's what I thought. Let's move along to the O-line.
But here's the thing: Charlie Kolar was drafted before Isaiah Likely.
Yeah, and
it's always
before Mark Andrews.
It's always the second one. It's always the second one that plays
drafted before Dennis Pitta. Maybe they should identify the guys they like and then just skip one.
Just skip one. Yeah. All right. So that means Charlie Kolar within the first couple of years he's gone, just like the rest of them. Ta-da!
That's cool. It ain't gonna happen by them putting them on the practice squad.
Oh man, I'm missing something during the game. All right, we gotta hurry up and get this done. Where we leave off? Tight end. All right, offensive line. This is a tough one for me. This was a tough one for me because of some of the things that I was hearing and some of the things that I was seeing. I thought that it was going to be easy to just say, you know what, we're going to get these offensive linemen in and get it done. But for offensive linemen, of course, we got Ronnie Stanley, we got Kevin Zeitley, we got Tyler Linderbaum, we got John Simpson, who was named the starter, even though we knew this because they said it at the beginning of the training camp. And we have the op, Morgan Moses, as the starting 5. On the bench, we got Patrick McCarry, who's Mr. Everything, all utility. We have Sam Mustipher, and he is particularly not a good player. It's just that he is the only guy that we have that can play backup center. So he's going to be on the roster. I think they keep Daniel Fa'alele just because, he has a lot of potential. He has the side and power that they like. And I also think they keep Ben Cleveland. Listen, Ben Cleveland is going to be Patrick McCarry light. I think he's going to be that utility guy because they played him all over the line during the preseason. So I think that he will be one of the final people safe on the roster. Now, the one guy that they're going to put on the practice squad is Saleh, because Saleh was just terrible to me. Like, Saleh was just
Yeah, no, I agree with that list. I don't think that's a particularly difficult list to come up with there. You don't have that many good players on the O-line. And like you said, Ben Cleveland has played, not so much this year, but he has played left guard. He's been playing right guard. They've been trying him out of right tackle. And for whatever reason, Baltimore is allergic to having guys who are just tackles. They don't like that. If you say, hey, no, man, I play tackle, they say, else. So I think that, Ben Cleveland will be there as kind of the swing guy. And I think I don't want to say that Johnson's going to fail, but I think they're going to be he's not going to start and finish 17 games. I'll just put it that way.
So you feel that there's a reason that the Raiders cut him?
I mean,
sorry, Raiders. Listen, see how an addict. Nobody likes Mustipher. Nobody likes him, but he's the only one. He's the only one with starting experience at center. That's the only reason that I think that he makes the roster. But
No,
off pure talent,
McCarty has started at center, hasn't he? A little bit, a few games.
a little bit. Like
Yeah.
it's been a while. Like I haven't even seen McCarty this offseason, to be
I
honest
know.
with you. I thought he was
They got that man in bubble wrap behind glass.
I thought he was
He the only backup that they trust even a little bit.
This is facts. All right, moving on to special teams. This is nothing new. Of course, we got Justin Tucker, the kicker, Jordan Stout, the punter, and Tyler Ott, the long snapper, because Nick Moore decided he wanted to mess around in his driveway and tear some ligaments in his legs.
I don't even know who else could possibly make the team at those spots. So that is obviously correct.
Yeah, it's nothing left. All right, moving on over to the defense. We start off with the defensive line with Justin Matabike, Michael. My time is limited. I'm gonna get hurt during the first 6 games.
That's not cool.
I'm sorry, sir, but it's true. I speak the truth, and we know he's gonna be hurt in the first 6 games. Newly minted Roderick Washington. Tough one for me in Brent Urban because I just think that he knocks down a pass once every 8 games, and that's just good enough for the Ravens just to keep him on the roster. And of course, Travis Scott Jones.
So I feel like that.
Nah, I like Travis Scott, even though he missed a couple tackles.
No, you don't.
I do. I have high hopes for him. Listen, he was projected to be a first-round pick last year.
Oh yeah, sure he was.
And somehow we stole him in the
30, and then 32 teams forgot he was on the board twice.
But we got him, and that's all that matters. But I think he's good, a good run stuffer. I think he has some work to do on getting his getting pressure on the quarterback. But he's a second-year player, so hopefully only good things to come. Hopefully.
But yeah, again, I think that's the list, right? They don't really have anybody else who was threatening to break into that group, despite having more than their allotted 7 picks every single year. They seem to be lacking in quality depth. So I think that is definitely the group. They got to get Brent Urban up out of there.
I don't know why they brought him back, to be quite honest with you. He's like 6'8". He's good for knocking down a pass or two, but he doesn't do anything particularly well. I think he's a John Harbaugh guy, and he just takes up a roster spot. But moving on to the more exciting positions, we're going to start off with outside linebacker / edge players, and of course, like I said before, they have to be on the 53-man roster before they can make any moves. So that's why Tyus Bowser is on here. But of course, he's going to go on the NFI list sometime Tuesday after they finalize the roster. Of course, we have Odafe, don't call me Jason Owe, Jadeveon Clowney, and my surprise, Malik Ham. I think Malik Ham from Baltimore City College, go Knights, is going to make this 53-man roster. And in Jabo, I guess they're going to bring him along too.
Okay. Well, surprise, Malik Ham's not making it because they're definitely not putting their 3rd-round pick on the practice squad.
Egads.
Yeah, so Tavius will be on the 53.
Wait a minute.
What?
What 3rd-round pick?
He was their 3rd-round pick, right?
No, he was a 5th-round pick.
Not Tavius Robinson.
He was a 6th-round pick.
No, not Tavius Robinson.
Trenton Simpson was a 3rd-round pick.
I thought Tavius was 3rd.
Nah, he was 4th.
Are you sure?
I'm for certain of this. They took John Simpson in the 3rd round. I'm for certain they took John Simpson in the 3rd round. Yeah. I am for certain of this, sir.
Okay. I know that's fantastic news because Tavius Robinson looks like he can't play. No, but you're right. He was a 4th-round pick. Yes, 4th round.
Yes, 4th.
But yeah, they're not putting him on the practice squad. He's going to be on the 53. Malik Ham will be on the practice squad if they feel like keeping him around. But,
Tavius?
Yeah. What?
Do you think he's going to be on the 53-man roster?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I don't understand why Baltimore loves him.
Listen, I know sometimes I can be hard on players, and when I say they can't play, and people are like, "Man, give him a chance. He cannot play, and he can't." But this guy can't play, Brady. Like literally.
I didn't say he could play. I was shocked when they drafted him, but they drafted him. He gonna be there.
This dude is like Jamarcus Russell on defense. He is horrible. Horrible. But I do think that he makes the practice squad with Jeremiah Moon.
All right. Okay. I don't know who Jackie Moon is either, but like it's not Tavius Robinson is going to be on the 53 with the rest of your edge rushers that you love so dearly.
If they could listen, I promise you, Bradley, I would throw a party. I would throw a block party if they put David Ojabo on the practice squad.
Listen, that's okay, but then you're definitely losing them, and I know you're joking. But seriously, you've put multiple recent draft picks on the practice squad, and I'm telling you it's not going to happen. And I'll tell you why in a second. We're going to talk about them, but it's because they're getting rid of Kaiu Blue Kelly. They're not going to cut all of their draft picks, and they're not going to do it.
This is new Baltimore.
No, it isn't.
This is new Baltimore.
This is old ass Baltimore. We tricked you for a week by signing Odell Beckham, because then we didn't even call DeAndre Hopkins. We didn't even call Dalvin Cook. We definitely didn't make an offer for Jonathan Taylor. We didn't actually go out and get Darius Slay. We didn't, go out and get anybody else who could have locked down that second corner position. This is old Baltimore. We for certain took fourth inside linebacker instead of drafting a left guard. We definitely did that. And then came back in the fourth round and got an edge rusher who can't play instead of getting a corner or a left guard again. There ain't nothing new about this Ravens.
Did anybody ever tell you that words hurt? Anybody ever tell you that words hurt? They mean something.
Words
they have
do
power.
mean something. They mean a lot.
They hurt.
And you know what? And I hope Eric's listening.
I hope he's listening too. But listen, oh man, I should have. He's not listening. What's up, Raven C? Yeah, we could have. Yeah. It was crazy because the other day, and I know this is his wife, and your wife is supposed to support you in everything you do.
Why would you call Cook and Taylor? Was that a serious question?
No, Raven C's a jokester. Listen, Lacey DeCosta put out a tweet talking about, yeah, Eric always gets his man. And I almost responded to that tweet like, you ain't got to lie, Craig. You ain't got to lie.
Nah, Joey, I promise you do. I promise you do.
I need an explanation on this one. Why do we not need Jonathan? Why do we not need a dude that rushed for 1,800 yards in a season?
I understand that you all like J.K. Dobbins, and we all think that he has talent, and we think he could be a special player. Maybe he hasn't been. He's been in the league for 3 years, and he hasn't been. I believe his career high is 850 yards, somewhere around there. Jonathan Taylor is, in the conversation for best running back in the league.
Thanks.
And here's another thing that Ravens fans don't like hearing about their running backs that they love so much. They look much better because they're playing next to Lamar Jackson. Now imagine Jonathan Taylor playing next to Lamar Jackson.
Listen, if you have Jonathan Taylor, all you need is one back. Jonathan Taylor has 1,800 yards rushing 2 years ago. J.K. Dobbins doesn't have 1,800 yards in his career.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, I get it. Y'all have y'all favorites. I just want to win. I just want to get those players that are going to help take us over the top. And it has been proven most of the players we have now ain't going to get it done. So, yeah. Whoa.
What?
Hold up. No, I'm sorry. We should have taken Stetson Bennett over Robinson or Simpson. Stetson Bennett? For what? If that was the case, we would have traded for Trey Lance. Like, if we wanted a no-talent quarterback, we'd have traded for Trey Lance. Like, you don't have to reach for a 5'10 quarterback from Alabama that's already 30 years old. Like, ass.
What running back did you see the team say, oh, God, we need them so bad? I mean, that's fine. You could say that same thing about Baltimore wide receivers for years. Were they right? Were they correct, Raven? And listen, here's the thing. This is true of every position not named quarterback. No player at any other position is going to by themselves put you over the hump and take you from a bad team to a good team or a good team to a contender. But you have Lamar Jackson. You're supposed to be playing for a Super Bowl right now.
Yeah.
And now is when players like Jonathan Taylor make that difference.
True. And yeah, like you said, we said the same thing last year. We don't need any wide receivers. We have Devin Duvernay and Tylan Wallace and James Prochet. And look what happened. As soon as the season was halfway through, everybody screaming, these wide receivers are the worst. We need somebody better. So listen, I don't know why, as a franchise or a fan base, we're scared to accumulate talent. I don't know why we think that one is enough or two is enough. If you can get somebody that's the best at their position, especially one of the running backs that's considered the best in the league on his rookie deal, that's a steal. Or we can go forward with J.K. Dobbins, hope he doesn't get injured again, and hope that he can do the things that Jonathan Taylor can do, because he can't. As much as I like him and as much as he breaks runs and he has a high yard per carry average, he cannot carry a franchise like Jonathan Taylor can.
Yeah. And no, Raven, I'm not changing it. I'm pointing out that just because the teams did something doesn't mean that they were right. It was my point in bringing up Baltimore on the wide receivers, because you were wrong about saying you don't need wide receivers, right? But that's what the professionals over at the Castle said. That was kind of the point. If Baltimore had an elite running back, if they had a Saquon, if they had a Taylor, if they had a McCaffrey, like, can you not imagine how much better this offense would look? How much pressure that would take off of Lamar Jackson?
This is false. He was injured last year because he had to go. He missed a couple of games because he had to get some scar tissue cleaned up 2 times. All right, let me get off the subject. Let's get into these linebackers so we can get out of here. Y'all done got us going about something else we're not even supposed to be getting into. Linebackers. All right, we're going to start off. Of course, we're going to start off with Roquan Smith, Patrick Queen.
Raven, not you. The Ravens said they don't need wide receivers.
Why are we doing this?
They said it publicly. Hey, yeah, we like our guys. We don't need anybody, and they were wrong. Anyway. Whatever. Let's go.
Yes, Malik Harrison, Delshon Phillips. I think he's played his way onto the team, and just by default, like you said, Brodney, being that they drafted him in the 3rd round, I think Trenton Simpson makes the team. I told y'all he was hot garbage. And just because he's a 3rd round pick, they're going to give him an opportunity to play. He is not the replacement for Patrick Queen. He is more like the replacement for Arthur Brown, in my opinion. Like, he just really can't play at this point in his career. I don't think he was worth a 3rd round pick, but we're going to put John Ross on the practice squad and Christian Welch. What do you think, Brady?
I'm struggling with the idea of them keeping 5 inside linebackers. I think that I don't think Delshon's going to make it. I don't think he was. I don't think he is. I think they just keep 4, and then they go a little heavier on the they go heavier at corner. I don't think Delshon makes it. The other 4 are correct.
You don't think Delshon makes it?
No.
I think, listen, Coach Harbaugh just publicly came out and just, just spoke highly of him just last night.
Oh, for real? Harbaugh said? Yeah, remember when Rashad Perriman was day-to-day? How many games he played that year?
Moving on.
Okay.
Move on. Yes, Coach, it's 53 people. It's not 60, it's 53 people. I know you may think that there are more cornerbacks and safeties than you believe, but that's not going to be the case. It's not going to be it.
Hendo said we cutting the trash.
We cutting the trash out. But it's unfortunate because 2 of the trash is going to somehow go on in injury designation anyway. No, they're not going to start at all. So to the cornerbacks, I think we keep 6 cornerbacks. Marlon Humphrey, of course, he's going to go to the injured list and miss the first however many games, or whatever many games he's going. Rock Ya-Sin, he's pretending to be healthy.
I forgot y'all signed Ronald Darby.
Rock Ya-Sin is going to pretend to be healthy until he goes out. Ronald Darby is going to do his Florida State thing and just play to the best of his capabilities. Then we have Brandon Stevens, who's going to get burnt like toast in a broken toaster every week. Jalen Armour Davis and Pepe Williams, they make the roster to be injury designated because, like I said, they were born crippled and have wheelchairs in their DNA.
I thought Armour Davis was healthy now.
They say he is. Did he play like it? He got his first extensive action yesterday, and he looked worse than Caillou Blue Kelly.
Okay, but him being bad at corner is not the same thing as him being hurt.
Listen, we injury designate people a lot to stash them and keep them around on the roster. So that
why would you want to just keep them around, though?
I don't want to keep any of them around. I don't think we should have drafted any of them. That's something that the Ravens decided to do.
I think that list is correct, with the possible exception of Arthur Millette making it over Williams or Davis. But I think it's probably going to be those 6.
But see, here's the thing. Pepe is still hurt, so he's going to go on a list. Marlon Humphrey's going to go on the list. So those are 2 guys off the roster. They're going to be replaced to me by Kevon Seymour and Arthur Millette. I think they're after they get everything settled. But just for the initial roster, I think these are the guys that they're going to keep.
Let me tell you something about Pepe Williams. You could probably just let him go. It's probably all right. It's probably okay.
I would think so, but Ravens feel like listen, I ain't gonna hold you. The New York Jets love to steal our people, so you never know.
I'm a bet that a better corner than Pepe Williams gets cut by another team.
I guarantee that to you.
So
I think I could go out there and play better corner right now.
Oh, that's
I'm almost 40 years old.
Don't Kevin Hart yourself, man. Don't Kevin Hart yourself.
Anywho, let's move on to this last position, which is safety. And I don't know. I saw some people trying to keep 6 safeties. For what? After the first 2, we got nothing but garbage. No. I take it back. Darius Washington is pretty good. I think we're going to keep 4 safeties. Marcus Williams, I think he's going to make an ascension and be an all-pro. Kyle Hamilton, I'm not for certain yet because I don't know how they're going to use him. Box safety, are they going to put him out in coverage? I don't think he can cover personally. But hey, he's a top 14 pick. Go earn your money, kid. Darius Washington, I think through the preseason, you
heard that, huh, Jay?
What happened? What a minute. I think in the preseason, Darius Washington. Yeah. All right, y'all funny. Darius Washington played his way onto the roster, and I think that Geno Stone, even though yesterday he looked a tad bit slow, makes the roster, which leaves Daryl Worley on the practice squad, and DeAndre Houston Carson goes to the practice squad as well, just in case we have an injury.
Stop it. Darius Washington ain't making no roster.
I guarantee you he does.
He ain't making no roster. It is going to be the 6'1" Marcus Williams, the 6'4" Kyle Hamilton, the 6'1" Daryl Worley, and 5'11" Geno Stone. And that's a guy that they took in the 7th round, or maybe he was even undrafted. I can't remember now. Darius 5'8" self ain't making nobody roster.
What? I guarantee you, Brodney, he's going to make the roster. And he's going to listen, he's going to play slot corner. He's going to play some slot corner for us.
F4, F5, okay.
Yes, listen, say what you want. He's a willing tackler, unlike some of these guys that we have that we drafted.
You can't say that. You ain't never seen him tackle nobody in the regular season.
It don't make it. I've seen him tackle.
And why haven't you?
I've seen him tackle in the regular season.
Well, no, you haven't.
I've seen him take on Brian Robinson one-on-one, take him down during this preseason. And I've seen guys on our own team, 6'2", 240, that can't tackle. And some of them look scared to tackle. But this young man, this little guy, he sticks his
y'all are going to be
nose in it. He's like another Antoine
Winfield. So unbelievably upset the first time a running back or a wide receiver just hops over him and keeps on running. There's gonna be a lot of prejudicial comments on Twitter when somebody just hops over Lil Ardarius and keeps on going. All right.
I mean, listen, it's athletes out there. What do you expect? Like some of them were college hurdlers. Mm-hmm. What do you expect? The coach says he agrees to choose one of safeties. So, Coach, you don't think they're keeping Ardarius? I can't remember what you put in your 53-man roster. Because you had your setup a little bit different. So, yeah, I don't. Worley is staying after we make the cuts. Like, this isn't the final 53. This is just the initial to get everything set. This isn't the final roster by any means because we still also have to take into account the people that get cut from other teams. But, yeah, that's right. That's right. He's from TCU. Terrible Christian University. And he's going to make the roster. All right. Yeah, I know, Coach, you did keep every DB. Like, you tried it. But eventually, even the Ravens are going to say enough is enough. These guys cannot play. Listen, they cut Swan like before he got to the locker room after last week's game. So they knew this guy cannot play, and they let him go. So that's that. Listen, hour and 9 minutes. We had 39 minutes past Rodney's alone. And there's still 45 people in here rocking with us. I appreciate you all for hanging out with us. And don't forget to come back every Sunday. Listen, we are 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away from the NFL season starting. Make sure that you come here every Sunday night at 8 p.m. to live stream or after each game, depending on what day it is. Make sure that you go every Wednesday, 7:15 p.m. to that guy. Lunch break hot take with him and his brother Jose. Rodney, let them know what you got going on and where they can find you, sir.
You just did.
Can you be more extensive? And it's not the only channel that you do. God.
Yes, you can find a lunch break hot take every Wednesday at 7:15 p.m. Eastern time, followed up by the overtime show that we do for patrons. You can also find me on Ring Kings podcast, allegedly. Sometime we'll be back. We'll be back sometime.
Make videos.
You can find me on Monday evenings at 9 p.m. on the Ravens Roundup over on Sip to Tally Films with Coach Evans, and Tuesday at 9:15 p.m. over on Suge Knight 323 for the Steel Conspiracy, which I somehow ended up on a Steeler and Raven podcast, despite not being a fan of either of those organizations.
You make it look good, Brad.
But you know, I just kind of want to cancel all this week's shows because Thursday evening.
Don't say it.
You know what's coming. Yeah, and you know it's coming because you can't have it. Starfield. Yeah. Starfield is coming, and I really can't even focus on football right now.
What you talking about, Willis?
I mean, I can't focus on football because Starfield is coming on Thursday evening.
I'm sorry.
I already took Friday off. It's gonna be all weekend.
What's up, Shug? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but what national championship has TCU won, Raven C? Hold on, I'll wait.
And like in anything, right?
In anything other than scandals. Nothing. No comment. No retort. Whatever.
And look, I'm not going to pretend I know TCU's history. Like the first that I'd ever heard of them was when LaDainian Tomlinson was there, because I was like, ain't no way in hell a top player in the NFL draft went to some place called Texas Christian University. It's not even a real place. Is that his high school? I don't understand. But you know, I do enjoy watching them play. But yeah, no, they're not exactly a powerhouse.
Nah.
There ain't no football this week, Jay.
But you just said you can't concentrate on football.
Yeah, there ain't no football this week.
True.
I gotta customize my ship and get out there and start hijacking ships in space to build my fleet.
Okay.
That's right.
All right. Well, listen, I'm about to go watch this football game. Like I said, appreciate you.
That is already over, essentially.
Is it really? God, it started at 8:00. It's only 9:15.
I know, but it's also the preseason.
It is true. You are factually correct.
And you know that the quality of play in preseason game
still
rapidly degrades.
It's still football. So, Once again, appreciate you, Brodney, for hanging out with us. Make sure you come back here every Sunday night. Also, Tuesday nights at 8 p.m., check out myself and my man Dre, Electric Relaxation, Disposable Entertainment, where we do a live stream. Most times we interview people. If not, we're talking all things hip-hop, especially old school hip-hop. Now, I have some bad news, good news before I go. Bad news, good news.
What's that?
Well, listen, being that the preseason is over and we are about to head into the regular season, I think that intentional grounding is going on hiatus. Yeah. So, yeah, that's done for now.
You seem real broken up about it.
Man, I'm trying to hold it inside. Like, no more Fridays.
I was gonna ask. I was like, when even is? Oh, look at Yolanda's upset.
No, she's not. She was talking about
all caps right there. You don't see Yolanda typing all caps.
She was talking about the football game being over.
No,
so
she just put it in there. So
my bad. You know, we're ahead of them. Like, we're delayed, so she could be talking about anything. But there may be something else in its place.
He said the Panthers' 22nd quarterback came from TCU. Yes, Raven C. We're aware that they put a player into the NFL once every 7.3 years. That's not what Hendo asked you. He asked you about titles.
Yeah, championships, winners, jewelry, hardware, stuff like that. Stuff that us winners do.
All right, calm down with the plastic ring you bought at the Dollar Tree.
First of all, this ain't practice. Yeah, you heard that, sir. You heard that. Real metal. Real metal. But anywho, there may be something. There may be another a project in its place that is going to be set up, and hopefully
it's here to stay. Yolanda says.
Hopefully, it's going to be more entertaining. Have more guests on there, and just be a better experience for everyone. That is what I am working on. So, until then,
you talking about that massive bust, Josh Doxson? Is that who you're talking about?
Really? All right, that's enough. That's enough.
Okay, my bad.
Josh Doxson. Who talking about Josh? The wide receiver.
Yeah. He didn't mention him. He was talking about another receiver. Wasn't it?
Is he talking about Johnson?
No, Rager went somewhere else, right?
Who? Rager? He went to Philadelphia. He went to Philadelphia. Now he's in Minnesota, but I think they cut him.
No. I mean in college, which is what we're talking about.
Jalen Rager, he may have gone to TCU.
Oh, he did go to TCU. Look at that.
Another bust.
Incredible.
Another
wow.
Another
wow.
Bust.
Amazing.
Sir, make sure you bring somebody that matters in the NFL to the plate before you come up here talking all that mess. But listen, y'all just trying to keep us delayed and stay here for 2 hours. Something we ain't doing.
We got it covered. Everything sports related. I'ma speak my